Hi guys, this is Naomi Smith and I really want to welcome you to my YouTube channel, Home Inspired. It's my desire that this channel would impart vision and grace to you in your journey toward home. I really hope you enjoy it.
I know what you mean, you gotta get just the right spot. Totally did it, I already did it.
Okay, so I want to welcome everyone who's watching. I'm very excited because we are going to have a special series with my friend, Mary Carpenter. I love her so much. She's awesome. And Mary and I were talking just like about a month ago, and we were saying that we have decided there are not enough conversations about sex. Yeah. It's just, I mean, right?
Yeah, no, the world is talking about it, so the church should be talking about it. Yes.
And so we were just talking about having a series about sex. And so here we are.
Yep.
This is that.
So get ready.
So get ready. We thought we would start this first episode just about our backgrounds regarding the issue of sex and how we learned about sex, and just kind of the general attitudes and thoughts that came behind that area of our lives. So
yeah, so I grew up in a Christian household, and I was taught just no sex. Like you just don't have it. You just don't do it until you're married. There was no. I actually, when I was little, I remember. So I went to Christian schools and grew up in a Christian household, and I was given a book anytime I asked questions, and it was like there wasn't really a conversation. It was just abstinence. You just don't have sex. Why? Because God told us not to. That was it. There was no basis past that.
No vision, really.
No, yeah, and no talk about how all the other stuff is still sex. Like, stuff that isn't actual intercourse is still sex, but that wasn't talked about either. It was just abstinence. There was no talk about, like, what I believe now about purity, what actual purity is. And purity is more than just abstinence. Yeah. It's way more. It's a promise. It's a beautiful thing. It's a gift. I wasn't taught any of that.
It's good. I mean, that's not good, but that's good.
But
what you just said about purity, that was really good. So with my background, I was raised in a home that was, I would say, strongly influenced by the hippie movement of the 60s. And, what is it? Free love. Yeah. It's all about free love, right? So I just was taught that it was a natural desire, it was a natural thing, and that there should be no shame attached to it, which on the one hand, that's a very good thing to be taught, which is that it's like normal to have a sex drive and that there should be no shame attached to it. However, I was not taught that it was designed for the context of marriage. I was raised just with a very kind of honestly cheap vision of what sex is, and didn't really have a vision for purity, or and I just I thought that was puritanical. I thought that was kind of old school, and now we're in the new age, and it's, you can have birth control, and what's the big deal? And so that was kind of where I was coming from, and then I became a Christian, a believer in 2000, and started to realize, like, okay, there are some clear biblical mandates about this, and because I had given like an all-in yes to Jesus, I said yes to him about sex and about waiting until I was married. And little did I know that would take 12 years or whatever, and in my like kind of prime fertility years. So that's kind of where we're coming from, and we just we have a real heart to, because this is a Home Inspired channel. guess what? Sex has a lot to do with building family. Whether we like it or not, like that is the reality. And so we are just wanting to engage you in conversation about this topic and hopefully have some really healthy conversation around the idea of sex and that issue in our lives. So yeah, please feel free to subscribe and follow us, and we will be continuing to talk about sex.